What did the 60s mean to you? To many Liverpudlians, it meant the Merseybeat scene and success in football. But to you, it might mean the first man on the moon or the assassination of President Kennedy. To others, flower power and Carnaby Street. Liverpool was also the city of change and challenge. City of change it certainly was. The real challenges would come in later decades. The city was on the way up, and the pop music scene spread its fame worldwide.
This is Merseybeat. If you want to sing a song, I really gotta tell you. Come on and sing along. This is Merseybeat. Let the music carry on. Everybody sing. Yeah, 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 yeah. With your long blonde hair and your eyes of blue, the only thing I ever get from you is sorrow. Sorrow. You're acting funny, spending all my money. You're out there playing your high-class games. Sorrow. Sorrow. For goodness sake, I got the hippie shades. Yeah, I got the shades. I got the hippie shades. Woo! I can't sit still with the hippie shades. Yeah, I get my bill now with the hippie shades. Yeah, in the bag. Woo! The hippie shades. I saw her today. I saw her face. It was a face I loved. And I knew I had to run away and get down on my knees and pray that they'd go away, but still they begin. Needles and pins because of all my pride. The tears I gotta hide. So baby, cross the Mersey, 'cause this land's the place I love, and here I'll stay, and here I'll stay, here I'll stay. Hold on, we're home in your arms, and you never This is Merseybeat. If you wanna sing a song, I really gotta tell you. Come on and sing along.
The music scene in Liverpool really made an impact, I would say, in the late 50s, because it really started at the Cavern Club in Liverpool, which was basically, in those days, a jazz club. But slowly but surely, one by one, all the bands, the rock bands, the new wave bands, started moving in there. And eventually, there was hardly any jazz band that played on the Cavern. And of course, the Cavern Club was unique for doing these lunchtime sessions, which was great because all the office workers had come down and sit and have the lunch while they were watching all the bands. One day there'd be ourselves, the Merseybeats, playing at the lunchtime session. The next day it would be the Beatles. Next day it would be Jerry and the Pacemakers. Then it would be us again, and then the Beatles, and so on. But it wasn't only the Liverpool bands that ended up playing at the Cavern Club. It started getting famous all over the country. People had heard everywhere about these great bands that are playing around this dingy little cellar in the middle of Liverpool called the Cavern Club, and attracted people like the Rolling Stones played there, and then people from Manchester like the Hollies, Freddie and the Dreamers. A lot of bands came. Joe Brown played there one night, and some visiting American artists played there. Sonny Boy Williamson, the blues players. Everybody who was everybody wanted to play the Cavern. I think they got a bit of a shock when they turned up and saw it was just a little old smelly cellar sort of thing. But the atmosphere was fantastic there, and it was great. And even the hat check girl, as they call them in America, but the girl who took the coats, as we call it, was Cilla Black. And she was wanted to become into show business, but the nearest she could get was being on the door, taking the coats. But she hung around a lot of the bands to ask them could she get up and sing a song, which most of us let her do, and she sang a song with the Beatles and everybody else. And in the end, that's where Brian Epstein saw her singing. She signed up and went on to great things. But the Cavern was the place. It's a shame that they eventually knocked it down and rebuilt the thing, because it was never quite the same. And the Beatles finally played there. We did a show with them August 1963, and the Beatles never came back to play the Cavern ever again.
When the night is cold and my arms want someone to hold, I think of you. When the rain is falling, I hear you calling to me. I think of you. I think of you every minute. I lie awake each lonely night. I think of you, yeah, that day you walked away and out of sight. But now my arms just long to hold you like they used to do before. I'm a broken man, now you don't love me no more. Now the night is cold and my arms want someone to hold. I think of you. Now the rain is falling, I hear you calling to me. I think of you. I think of you every minute. I lie awake each lonely night. I think of you, yeah, that day you walked away and out of sight. But now my arms just long to hold you like they used to do before. I'm a broken man, now you don't love me no more. When the night is cold and my arms want someone to hold, I think of you. I think of you.
And of course the Beatles went on from strength to strength. I remember in those days, it wasn't long after the Beatles had got their recording contract and had a hit record. There was a famous quote in the Liverpool Echo by Brian Epstein saying that he thinks that the Beatles eventually going to become as big, if not bigger, than Elvis Presley, which all the bands burst out laughing and said, how can anyone be bigger than Elvis? How can a Liverpool band from a small place like Liverpool become big all over the world and conquer America? But of course, Brian Epstein and the Beatles were to prove everybody wrong. So as we know, they went on from strength to strength. And the first tour they did of America in 1964, they filled every venue available. They had top 3 in the American charts, and they even filled venues like the Hollywood Bowl, which was unheard of for a British artist to fill somewhere like that. And of course, the Beatles made 2 very successful films. The first film, Hard Day's Night, was even premiered in Liverpool. So Liverpool was still the place to be in those days. And of course, the follow-up film in full colour was Help, which we all know was so successful. It was absolutely marvellous, and of course, with the Beatles becoming famous all over the world, it opened the door for lots of the other bands, like ourselves, for instance, the Mersey Beats. We started playing in all different countries all over the world, because anybody who had come from Liverpool, they associated with good music, with new music, with successful music. And I remember our first tour we did outside the country, early '64, was Italy. We were the first band from Liverpool ever to play in Italy. We toured round, and all the venues were things like stage was set up on the beach. It was like a free concert to promote ourselves all over Italy, and it was marvellous because as we turned up for the sound check in the afternoon, girls came from nowhere all flocking round us, and all golden brown girls in bikinis. So we were young lads having great fun in those days, but it was a marvellous time to be involved in, because we would play venues up and down the country, all around the UK. And a lot of places, they couldn't find a venue big enough, so we ended up playing open-air venues in the middle of parks and things, where there's thousands and thousands of people watching us. So it was just marvellous to come from Liverpool and be involved in the Liverpool scene and be part of the Liverpool sound.
Stroll along.